a role in making sure that you have the best representation possible. And so when they all say that they know they have people who understand in the leadership of the state Senate, it's true. It's because we have had an ongoing communication. We have made sure that everybody understands that we are looking forward, not backward, and we're leaving no one behind. We're in a critical place where we know that if we work together, if we make sure that the principles, the progress, the values, the realities of New York, and certainly New Yorkers in the suburbs, we will not only succeed, but we will be a model of progress that everyone will follow. Thank you, Longman. Thank you. Thank you. And everybody's heard, and you probably know, but I'd like my senators to stand up and just wave at you, just so you know who the six-pack is. Senator John Crump, Senator Jim Warren, Senator Kelly Thomas, Senator Anna Kaplan, Senator Tom Krasinski. Thank you. And I also want you to know that we all go all over because we all know how important it is. And so I want to recognize Senator John Liu. Stand up, Senator. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. I cannot, tell you, there's 15 new senators. 15. It's unprecedented. So we're all going to each other, swearing in, and we're always going to have a permanent smile. But 14 in our conference alone, 14 women out of 39. In the chamber, there are 20 women out of 63. It's important because there's always been one group of people, men, who have been making the majority of policy. And it's not that they do terrible things or that it's a bad job. That's not what we're saying. But we're saying it's important, especially in a time like this, where the perspectives of different people, where the understanding of different things really are brought to the fore, so that when we make decisions, we make the decisions to uplift. And you exemplify that important decision-making by sending me, thank you for sending me Monica Martinez. Thank you for that. Monica and I have a lot in common. We both love our heels. We're both county legislators, both educators, and both advocates for people whose voices, but for us. The name that I heard that everybody was talking about was Monica. Because we talked on the phone and I was supporting her, and he said certainly so much was going on, but the time that she and I started really talking, there was not a hint of any question. She didn't sit down and say, oh, leader, I struggle so much. I didn't know. There was none of that. Once she made up her mind, all that was behind her. She hit the ground running. She never, ever, ever looked back. That's who you have. You have somebody who, when she says she's all in, she's all in. She's all in. And because she's all in, she will lift us all up again. We have a tremendous team. I have a tremendous right hand. I have tremendous senators from Long Island and beyond, you are going to see great things, and we are grateful for your confidence. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, Leader Stewart-Cousins, and a big round of applause again for Andrew Stewart-Cousins and Martinez. And we have one more elected official. I don't want to miss anyone, but we do have been joined by Councilwoman Mary Kate Mullins from the town of Iceland. Welcome. And at this time, it is my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce my friend, the new senator for the 3rd Senate District, Monica Martinez.
Thank you. Please, first of all, thank you. It's a great day, for sure. So I think it's still morning, right? But I just want to say good morning. Y buenos dias, aquí in Brentwood. We are here today. And thank you all for being here on this cold Saturday morning. I'm truly humbled by the turnout, by the participation of so many who are here today. From our governor who swore me in, to our U.S. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, to our presiding officer, Rob Calarco, who he is a friend, and I will tell you, throughout this entire journey, he has been by my side, and I could not have asked for a better colleague to go through this with than Rob Calarco. Rob, thank you. Fellow Town Supervisor and Chairman, Rich Schaefer, thank you. He has definitely been a guiding light. And yes, considers me his little sister as well, and I treat him like a big brother as well. Suffolk County Executive Laura Curran, thank you so much for being here. And the time as a legislator, I would cross boundaries and would end up in Nassau press conferences regarding on the issue that was at hand, and usually dealt with people who are in need of certain services. So thank you for your leadership over in in Nassau, and another glass-breaking individual as the first female county executive in Nassau County. To our Suffolk County Executive, Steve Ballone, I blame him for everything. But with that, Steve, I too would not be here. He also saw something in me, and I appreciate that. And he has been a true mentor as well at the county legislature. He has supported my initiatives in the district that I represented as a county legislator. And I will tell you, he never said no, because I think he knew what would happen if he did. Our New York State Senate Majority Conference leadership, we have Martinez that you've heard from, and Andrea Stewart-Cousins, another glass ceiling breaker. So thank you both for being here. I look forward to working with you. To the Brentwood School Administration, thank you so much. Superintendent Rich Lochner at one point was my high school principal when I taught, not like when I was a student. We have Brentwood High School Principal John Callan, who was also my boss when I was an administrator. But I also have someone here very special to me before I continue, and that is former, well, I don't think you were a principal, right, Mr. Callan? No, but he was my department head. So Mr. Callan, so there are two Mr. Callans. One is junior, one is senior, but they're really not junior and senior, but they have the same name. And John Callan Jr., as he is referred to, was my boss when I was an administrator. But John Callan Sr. hired me as a teacher here in the Brentwood School District 18 years ago. I interviewed with him. He saw something in me and hired me. I was one of 8 and the only female in that crowd that he hired that year. So thank you, Mr. Callan. So when I saw him here today, it just brought tears to my eyes, because he also was a man who saw something in me, who wanted me in a leadership position, who actually pushed me to get my administrative degree, to become an assistant principal. Well, he wanted me to be department head and take the steps, and then he retired. And I will tell you, those shoes has been very difficult to fill. So thank you so much for everything that you have done in making me who I am today. To our Brentwood School Board, we have President Robert Feliciano and the entire board. Thank you for being here, the work that you do for our kids. To the ROTC of Patrick Medford, thank you so much. Boy Scout Troop 197, to the Central Isaac Concert Choir. Amazing, top-notch singers here in the district. Pastor Anthony Palella, I'm not sure if you're still here, but thank you so much, and I look forward to continuing our work together. And I know that coming from Medford, you came out to Brentwood to help my community, and we do have Hope Day. And Hope Day, if you do not know what Hope Day is, it says it all. And it's pastors coming together and bringing services to the community and making sure that they do have hope for the next day, and that there are people who do care for them. So thank you for leading that charge as well. And to all my colleagues in government, on both sides of the aisle, I am so glad to see that we are actually here together, because today's event for me is of that. It is of unity, it is of coming together to make sure that we represent the people of the third together, because they need both of us. And I know that we're going to be able to do that with every single one of you on both sides and on all levels of government. So thank you for being here. To our law enforcement and our military, we have here 3rd Precinct being represented. So thank you for being here. And we also have Chief Cameron, Chief of Police. Thank you so much for being here and providing assistance in today's efforts. To the men and women of labor, you know I could not forget you. Thank you for your continued support, and I look forward to working with you on legislative agenda. And to all the community-based organizations that are here today, those who I worked with in the past, those that I'm going to work with in the future and continue working, thank you for being here. For all my friends, my family, thank you. But before I continue, and I think that probably took most of my speech, but I really want to thank my family. I always get emotional with my family. I love you too. They're always by my side. Mom, my dad, actually my dad has become my dog sitter. And that's where he is right now. But the sacrifices that you endured, Mom, leaving us all behind, you coming on your own, making sure that this was the place for us. I would never let you down. I love you. To my second set of parents, my brothers, Antonio, everybody called him Tony, I called him Antonio. My brother William, my sister Lorena, thank you for your guidance, for taking care of me as your little sister. And I know we keep getting older, but I will never catch up to you. So therefore, keep spoiling me, because I enjoy it, and I love being the little sister. And as many of you have heard, prior to me becoming involved in politics and becoming a county legislator and now state senator, I taught in the Brentwood School District for 10 years and assistant principal here for 4. I actually taught 11th and 12th grade social studies in this building, last room on top of this building in Sonderling. I graduated from Ross, and that's why having this ceremony here today means so much to me. This school, the community, the people, the different cultures and religions that surround us are the things that gave me that drive and that determination to run for office 6 years ago, and to wake up every single day and fight the good fight for the people that I represent. I now have the honor and pleasure of representing the people of the third with that same drive, that same passion, and that same determination. I would like to thank all the voters who put their faith in me on November 6th of 2018. I am eternally grateful for that support. We are at a time in our nation's history that we as Americans are faced with divisive political rhetoric at all levels of government and from all political parties. As we have discussed, this nation has long been divided by race, creed, religion, socioeconomic status, but in today's world, it seems we're divided in a news cycle, a relentless barrage of attacks on social media. We are faced with answering such imperative and disputable questions that help define who we are as people. Questions such as, do we build walls or bridges? Do we lock doors or windows? Do we look inward or outward? Blue or red? We have a federal government who's attempting to answer these questions, due in part to the increasingly polarized world we live in. And it has a real effect on thousands of Americans across the nation who are unable to go to work and get paid, unable to pay heating and electric bills, unable to put food on their table, and unable to access health care. And this is all because of political division and seeing who can pump their chest out more than the other. It is time that we put policy before party. The work needs to get done regardless of political banter. It is imperative that here, in the state of New York, we do not allow the same level of divisiveness to overtake us. It is imperative that we look toward one another and find that we have more that unites us than divides us. It is imperative that we work together as one, as man and woman, as Republican and Democrat, as liberal and conservative, because first and foremost, we are Americans, we are New Yorkers, and best of all, we are Long Islanders. We must hold ourselves higher, in a higher standard here in the third and in the state of New York if we wish to yield higher quality results. We must ask ourselves, not what a specific issue does to advance our political agenda, but what a specific issue does to advance our community. That's why I began my tenure as your senator, and I begin to fight for the good people of the 3rd Senatorial District and for everyone in the great state of New York. I am calling for a new day of unity amongst all New York. I am calling for a new day of unity among New Yorkers where we can put our differences aside to understand that we have more that unites us, even in these perilous times, than that which divides us. A new day of togetherness where we can respect opposing opinion and treat one another with dignity. A new day of prosperity where we work together for a common goal and fight for the betterment of the community, because when we put our differences aside and work in harmony, not only will the American people benefit, but so will the people of the great state of New York and the good people of the 3rd Senatorial District. I am proud to call this place my home. I am proud to call each and every single one of you members of our community here in Brentwood and in Suffolk. And I know that by working together and putting our differences aside, we can accomplish great things for our community and for our state. Unfortunately, Brentwood has received such negative attention in the news, but those who live here know that at times Brentwood can be a difficult community for a child to be brought up in. Often the community is demonized, and children seemingly without an alternative path can be drawn into a cyclical nature of drugs, alcohol, and gang violence that has plagued this community. I am proud to hold my inaugural address here today in my alma mater, Brentwood High School, to show the boys and girls of this community and all over New York State that your socioeconomic status does not matter, that your race, your creed, religion, your gender, or sexual orientation does not matter. As long as you work hard and stay determined, you can make something of yourself. When elected officials actually pay attention to a community instead of neglecting it, it will prosper. And what makes this day even more special for me, it was once held by late Senator Cesar Tronso, whom I admire. A Republican who worked with both sides of the aisle to get the job done, who served in the New York State Senate from 1973 to 2008. 35 years of service, and throughout his tenure, he did what was best for his constituencies. And that's exactly what I want to do and will do. There will be items that the Republican Party may not agree with me, and that's okay. But of course, there will be, at the end of the day, it's my job to make sure that the quality of life is improved for all residents. regardless of my personal opinions on anything. Government should never stand in between a woman's right to choose over her health care. There is no law. There is no law dictating what a man should do with his body and his health, and therefore, no one should be telling a woman what she should do with hers. Government should protect students by passing strong against this legislation. Students should go to school. Students should go to school to learn and socialize and not fear someone will come into their building with illegal possessions of a weapon and kill innocent lives. But I also will tell you this, no bill should ever infringe upon someone's Second Amendment right either. But we need to make sure that the guns do not fall into the hands of individuals who are not rightful and responsible gun owners. We need to bring education back to its foundation where teachers teach and not to a test and students learn. We need to protect this great island we live on by protecting our waterways and our lands. We need to bring economic development to areas in need. We need infrastructure and the sexy word of sewers. We need to combat the gang and opioid epidemic on Long Island. We need to protect their taxpayers by making the tax cap permanent in the state of New York. And we need to keep making our community safer by equipping our law enforcement with the necessary tools to do so without infringing upon civil liberties. We are facing some difficult times in our nation, but New York State can and will continue to lead the way. But the only way we'll see true progress if we work together. I look forward to working with my colleagues at all levels of government and state to bring Long Island, finally, its fair share. Thank you again. And I look forward to serving as third senatorial district.
Let's hear it one more time for Monica Martinez, our new state senator. We're looking forward to great things from you, Monica. We know you will achieve great